Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and this is my 2006 Toyota 4Runner that I just bought from Facebook Marketplace for $5,500, making it the cheapest running Toyota 4Runner in the US. Now this car is cheap for a reason, and today I'm going to show you all the things that are wrong with this car, things that are really good about this car, and then we're going to take it out for a drive and see how it drives. And disclaimer, I am not Doug Demeter. Okay, so let's just start with everything that's wrong with this car. So this car being 17 years old, there are definitely a lot of scratches on the car. As you guys can see, it's a big dent right here. More scratches here. Some more scratches on the D-pillar. It's a big scratch on the back bumper, which is my fault. I would say I was backing in to a parking spot and hit a concrete block. There's a small rust spot here on the back tailgate, which I'll have to fix soon or somehow to prevent it from spreading. Otherwise, it's gonna eat away the entire tailgate, and I'll have to replace it. So the paint on the passenger side is peeling quite a bit, as you guys can see. Probably because of sun exposure, this side was exposed more to the sun compared to the other side, and the paint is now peeling. The clear coat is now peeling, and it's also faded quite a bit. But funny thing is, it's only on the back side of the door. The front passenger door is perfectly fine. Another thing about this car are the wheels. As you guys can see, these are the stock Toyota wheels that came with this car, but somebody decided to paint them black, and now all the black paint is peeling. As you guys can see right here. And it looks absolutely hideous when you're driving on the road or when this car is parked. Just all this blotched up paint. The good thing about this car is it comes with the Goodyear Wranglers aftermarket tires, which are good for off-roading. Another thing wrong with the car is this big crack on the windshield that runs all the way from left to the right. Considering how flat the windshield sits, it's very prone to getting rock chips. So I'll have to probably replace the entire windshield at some point in the future. But for right now, I'm not really worried about it because the crack is on the lower side and it really doesn't affect my field of vision. The headlights are very faded from sun's exposure, but that's easy to fix. One thing that's not easy to fix is this big crack on the front bumper, as you guys can see, and the previous owner has used zip ties to hold the front bumper together. He went for the drift stitch look, but I don't think he really quite got it there. As you guys can see, it goes all the way to the bottom, and again the paint is peeling, the clear coat is peeling on the front bumper, so I'll have to replace the entire front bumper. Bunch of plastic pieces missing from this car. As you can see, the roof rack is missing plastic piece on one side, and then the other side there is another plastic piece that is missing. Okay, so now let's go into the engine compartment and see what's wrong with it. It has to be windy here. So this car has the V6 engine rather than the V8 engine. I do prefer the V6 because it gives you those extra 2-3 miles to the gallon, which you guys can see the engine bay is pretty dirty, but I mean, I'm not complaining. But the biggest issue is this valve cover gasket leak. As you guys can see, there is a big leak on the valve cover gasket here, which spills oil on the engine block and on the auxiliary belt. which would degrade the belt over time. I'll have to replace the front valve cover gasket. But being a Toyota, replacing the valve cover gasket is a pretty easy job. You just take the cover off, take the air intake off, and then a few extra bits and pieces, and then you can easily get to the valve cover gasket. So the Toyota 4Runner is purposely built for off-roading. As you guys can see, there is a huge space in the front here where you can easily mount a winch, which is something I'm looking forward to do in the future. Apart from that, there is nothing mechanically wrong with the engine, at least. So this is the SR5 model of the car, which means it's the lowest model that they offered in 2006, but it does come with the optional four-wheel drive, which is nice because I'm probably going to take this car off-roading quite a bit, and I want that four-wheel drive and the comfort of not getting stuck. So now moving on to the interior. The interior is very dirty. As you guys can see, there's a bunch of plastic pieces missing. I don't even know where they go. They're everywhere. They're under the seat. They're in the center compartment here. There are a bunch in the glove box. So now we have moved to the interior of the car. And another reason why this car is cheap is because of the number of miles it has on it. This car currently has about 264,000 miles. But being a Toyota, I am pretty sure it would go for another 264,000 miles without any problems. The car starts up pretty nicely. The engine idles perfectly at about 700 RPM, so there are no issues with the engine. As you can see, the front windshield crack, which is huge. This car does come with an aftermarket Bluetooth head unit display, which is really nice, really handy because I don't have to connect cables to play music. I can wirelessly connect it via Bluetooth with my phone and just play music. The temperature controls are given at the bottom, which are really nice, handy, easy to reach, and they're all buttons, so I don't have to go into a screen or do something. There's another display which gives you your average MPG, your miles per hour, your range and everything. Your temperature controls are right here. Also tells you time. So there is a very dark window tint on the windows, as you guys can see, which is really nice when you're driving in the day. But when you're driving in the night, you cannot see the cars behind you, and it gets really annoying. So that's something I'll have to remove in the future here. As you guys can see, the car is absolutely dirty. Like there is like sticky stuff everywhere in the glove compartment. There is some sort of dye in this compartment. And as I said, this car does have the 4x4 option or the four-wheel drive option in it. So that means I have this toggle switch right here using which I can change my car from high to high four, low four easily. Car does come with a central locking differential, all the standard stuff that you get in the four-wheel drive version of a 4Runner. Lastly, let's talk about the rear window. I know everybody in their videos talks about this, but this has to be the coolest feature of the car. The fact that you can roll down the rear tailgate window is just amazing. Let me show you guys how it's done. There you go, one press and it goes down, and you press it again and it goes back up. Okay, now driving the Toyota 4Runner. And one thing I really like about this car, or any SUV in general, is the ride height. The way you're sitting higher up, the fact that you can see everything outside, you are sitting higher than anybody. It just gives you the comfort of driving an SUV. So let's start by everything that I found wrong with the car when I took it out for the first drive. So there is a slight clunking noise coming from the front driver's side suspension area. I think there is probably something loose, or a part of the suspension is worn out, one of the bushings maybe. So that's something I'll have to look into. Another thing that's wrong with the car are the brakes. The brake rotors are worn out, so every time you press the brake pedal, the car pulses. Yeah, so braking, like I can definitely feel the pulsating effect, and it gets kind of annoying. So even after all of those issues with the car, I'm pretty happy with the purchase for $5,500. Honestly, I couldn't have asked for more, and I'll probably have to spend another $1,500 into fixing everything, like the valve cover gasket, the brakes, the suspension parts that are worn out. I'm not going to worry much about all the external aesthetic things. They can probably come in later, but I really want to make it mechanically sound. So if I'm going out on long road trips, or if I'm taking it out off-roading, I don't have to worry about anything going wrong with it. So even though the car only has about 245 horsepower, which is not a lot for a big SUV, and I don't know how many horses left from the back of this car, but I'm pretty sure it's still maintaining those 245 horsepower. This car really does pick up speed pretty fast. Like on the freeway, I floor it, and this car has no problem getting to 60, 70, or even 80 miles per hour. Whew. This car is pretty fast. So now the question, what are my plans with this car in the future? What is it that I'm going to do with it? So so first of all, I'm going to fix everything that is mechanically wrong with this car, and then after that I'm going to build the back of this car. So my plan is to convert this car into a camper, which I can take out for 3 to 4 days in the woods without having to worry about anything. So this would have a fridge in it, an auxiliary battery that would charge the fridge, all of your devices. It would have a twin size bed in it, some drawers where you can store everything, a stove, a sink, so you can cook on the go. You don't have to eat the cold meals, which I really hate. I really hate eating cold food when I'm camping. I really want that nice hot meal every time, which I can do now with this car. Building all of that is going to take me a lot of time. I'm already currently working on it, and I thought it would be easy, but I've been working on it for the past 2 weeks, and it is a lot of work, believe me. So after I'm done building this car, I would like to take it out camping for a few days, somewhere where I can get some off-roading too, and then see anything that can improve this car in terms of my camping experience, in terms of driving, or in terms of my off-roading experience. But that's all to come in the future. I hope you guys are excited about this build. This is my first video on my channel, but I'm going to post more videos on this build, on this car, and all the other builds that I'll be doing soon. So look out for those videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.